What is up, guys? It's your girl Afro, and tonight I'm going to be doing a podcast about how I felt about the ending of Yakuza Kiwami 2 because I recently beat it. I think it was last week, and I am not really I'm not happy. I'm not happy about this ending in particular. For one, it's kind of like giving me flashbacks of Yakuza 3's ending and how this game, like, company just likes to kill off really good villains. And it really pisses me off because it's like, okay, you start out, you think that one character's the bad guy. Then towards the end, you find out the bad guy was some sort of like pawn for the actual bad guy. So then you're like, okay, what the hell? He was bad this whole time, but you didn't know that because he was too busy playing on your side. So now when you get to the end, it's like, what the fuck? So that's what they were doing with Pterodactyl's bitch ass, his Gatorland looking ass. They sat up there and they made you think that he was good. They made you think that he was dead. Then he pops up, he's like, oh, I'm Korean now. Like, what the fuck? Like, they had so many freaking, oh, this character was Korean, this character was Korean, this character was Korean. It's like they kept pulling that narrative throughout this game, and I'm like, okay, who else is gonna be Korean? Any one of you, like, for fuck's sake. So that's another thing that pissed me off. But what really pissed me off is how they killed Ryuji, because it's like, he didn't need to die. And Pterodactyl revealing himself as the bad guy, and that other dude, I can't even remember his name, but that other guy with the glasses, when he died, like, those two were the bad ones. So what was the point of this whole battle with Ryuji? Now I understand that he was just trying to make it a fair fight between him and Kiryu and, you know, made the best dragon win. I get that. But it's like, this is kind of stupid because, for one, Kiryu doesn't care about the Tojo clan in the later games. He doesn't even want to associate himself with the Yakuza. So what's the point of him just fighting Ryuji over this fucking tattoo? Because that's the whole battle. It was over whether or not which one is going to be the dragon, there can only be one dragon. This is bullshit because, for one, like I said, Kiryu does not want anything to do with the Tojo clan, so why is he trying to claim the mantle of being the only dragon when he has nothing to do with the Yakuza? This doesn't make any sense to me, and I feel like playing Yakuza Kiwami 2, it honestly made me show dislike for him a little bit because it's like, and not only this game, but there was other games where he's always getting himself involved, and partially it's Daigo's bitch ass's fault because he's just fucking useless, and he doesn't know how to be a big boy and pull up his damn big boy pants and take the pull-up off and so show some damn sense around here. That's one of the issues that Kiryu has with Daigo's bitch ass, but we're not going to talk about Daigo right now. We'll talk about him in a different video. It's just, it makes me so frustrated how he's like, oh, there can only be one dragon in, like, most of these battles with somebody that has another dragon tattoo. But my main thing is, Ryuji's death was very unnecessary. Just like Mine's death, it was also unnecessary. I'm going to talk about that either in another video or maybe later in this one because I also want to clarify some things about him as well. And people are not going to be happy about it, but whatever, I don't give a fuck. So, it's like, how can you fight somebody over this mantle? How can you try to claim that when you have no involvement in the Yakuza at all? And the only involvement you have in the Yakuza in the future games is you being pulled into it because Daigo doesn't know how to freaking run a Tojo clan. He doesn't know how to run his business. He doesn't know how to do things, so he constantly needs help. And that's partially Kiryu's fault for putting that all on him. I'm not going to sit up there and fault Daigo and call him completely useless because it's like, okay, Kiryu was supposed to be the person in his shoes, but Kiryu doesn't want it. So then he gives Daigo that position. But Daigo rightfully takes it. So it's like, that's partially your fault as well, baby boy. So you can't completely blame Kiryu for that either, because a lot of Daigo stans like to blame Kiryu for Daigo's bullshit. But again, let me stop talking about Daigo because this is not about Daigo. This is about Ryuji Goda and how they just killed him off and that his death was unnecessary. Y'all really killing each other over some fucking tattoo rights? Seriously? You gotta be joking with me. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Over a tattoo right? Like, literally, he didn't even need to die at that point when they revealed and they dropped the ball on all this other bullshit. Gave me that stupid, corny-ass plot twist. You didn't need to do that. He didn't need to die, and he did not need He didn't need to die. Just plain and simple. He didn't need to die, and his death was unnecessary, and the game shouldn't have done that. And I know this game is extremely old, but it's like, what in their right mind when they were making this made them think it was okay to kill off good villains? Because he was a really good villain. Like, he was problematic, but on a healthy amount of problematic. He wasn't like the other villains in Yakuza 0, the fucking Dojima lieutenants. They got on my nerves. I couldn't stand them. He was actually a good villain. And it's like, they could do so much. They could have given him a redemption arc. They could have had it to where instead of killing him off, he could have survived, and then they could have exiled him and gave him his own character story. Like, we could have had a game where we play as the antagonist of this game. They could do so much with these Yakuza games instead of making them self-centered around Kiryu the entire time. But it's like, they didn't want to do that. They're just like, okay, let's just kill him off, give him a shitty-ass death, give him no type of honor to his character. He just dies. He dies from getting shot. Just like how Kiryu got shot. They both get shot twice. And Kiryu gets stabbed before this even happened. So that's what really confuses me, is how he survives this and Ryuji's big ass dies, which makes no sense because look how big Ryuji is. I'm not trying to put, strength into this, and I know the bigger they are, the harder they fall, but come on, no, that doesn't apply to Ryuji because Ryuji is literally, he was 12 years old beating up on Majima when he was literally 20. He was a grown-ass man beating up grown men. Like, come on. You cannot sit up there. That death was not honorable to his character at all with how strong he was. And they just sat up there and butchered him like that with that death. He shouldn't have died. I'm sorry. I do not want to force myself to believe he died because they could easily just say that he got exiled from the Omi Alliance and that, he could have transported himself to America or some shit with Kaoru and, lived in secret or something. I don't know. Just thinking, like, my brain is thinking of all kinds of possibilities they could have given for him because it's just like killing him off was just foolishness, and they could have done so much with these characters and these games instead of just giving them what they gave us. And I feel like we were robbed. We were literally robbed. Like, they need to bring him back. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how unrealistic it is. If they can bring back Terada's bitch ass and then have that corny ass plot twist, they can bring back Ryuji and they can bring back Mine, because this is just foolishness. How they've been killing off all of these good ass villains. And I think that is just so absurd of them to do that. And whoever's working at RGG Studios, they need to have their freaking I'm not gonna say they need to be fired because that's fucked up. But they need to start using their brains and thinking like, hey, well, some people like these villains. I know that it's all about heroism and stuff, but they could have had easily made a spin-off about just individual characters. And I'm not talking about RGG Online because nobody in America in the West can play that. So it's like, what they should have done is let Ryuji survive, let Mine survive, give them their own spin-off game where you play as the antagonist. Or they could have, there's another thing, I'm not going to say that right now because this is off topic, but they could have it to where, you can play as the enemies and you just, either you play a prequel of them in the past or you play them as a non-canonical ending because it's not going to be canon since the game wants you to think that they're fucking dead. But it could be a non-canonical a non-canon ending where they survive their deaths and we get to see them in action in the future, during the times of Yakuza 4, 5, and 6, and 7, I guess. Yeah. So that's all I have to say really about that. I just had to air this out because, again, it was bothering me ever since I played it because I really like him so much as a character. And I don't just simp for him. Like, I actually really, really like how his character, like, it doesn't progress, but it's, well, actually, yeah, no, he does have character progression. And he only just wanted Kiryu to get stronger, kind of like how Majima wants Kiryu to get stronger as well. So it's like he was a really good villain, and he made it a fair fight too. Like, he didn't just sit up there. He could have killed them when he was at Stardust, but he's like, no, I want you to be ready. I want you to be ready for this fight. I want you to prepare yourself for this big battle I have for you. Like, he literally was preparing this battle for Kiryu to get stronger. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, but then you see the other villains in the other games, they're being pussies, they're grabbing the gun, they're trying to kill Kiryu. You know what I mean? They're running behind the gun. You know, the one in Yakuza 4 with what was that one boss? With Tanimura, and you know, the bitch ass guard was hiding behind his guard dogs and shit, where he was shooting the gun at you. Like, he could have been that type of villain, but he wasn't. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you time to prepare. I'm gonna give you time to get ready for this fight, to see who's gonna be claiming that dragon mantle. That's what he did. And it's like, you have to give props to villains like that, because there's not a lot of villains in Yakuza that are like that, because most of the bosses in Yakuza are pussy punk bitches. So, but the thing is, the ones that weren't pussy punk bitches, they die. And I'm like, why? What's the point? There's so much you can do with these characters. Why would you make these characters so good as villains just to kill them off? Why would you do that? And then you allow the terrible villains to survive. That's pretty fucked up. That's like, wow. And I felt like that whole thing with the tattoo was just childish. Because again, in the later games, he doesn't even want to claim the Yakuza. So it's honestly pointless. His death was very pointless. His death was more pointless than Mine's death. And they need to bring my man's back. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for them. I don't know, because people are like, oh, well, he's on the RGG online. Like, that's not enough for me, baby. That's really not enough. We need more. We need a spinoff. They need to make a spinoff. And, you know, they would make a lot of money. Like, bitch, you would make so much. You know, I would buy like 10 copies if they had a whole ass game based on Ryuji Goda and Mine Yoshitaka. Like, come on, bitch. You know damn well you would buy it. Or even if they made a game based off of Daigo, and they just gave him a character arc, because they could easily redeem his character and stop making him look like a weak ass bitch. Like, I don't know. There's just so much they could do with these Yakuza games than what they did. And yeah, that's all I have to say, really. I just wanted to air that out again. And in the next video, I'll talk about Mine. And again, nobody's gonna like what I say about Mine, because if you see my Instagram stories, like, yeah, fuck. Yeah, you're not gonna like what I have to say about Mine. But I don't give a fuck. And if you have a problem, I don't know. I mean, whatever. But yeah, so I'll see you on the next video. If you want to see more videos like this, please share it around, like, subscribe, and comment who else you want to see me talk about, because I would love talking about characters individually, because like I have so much to say about every single Yakuza character. I have so much to say about Yakuza. I just haven't said it yet, but I guess Kiwami 2 just set me off to say it, because I've been talking about it on my stories for the longest. So with that being said, I will see you on the next video. Y'all take care. I love you.